Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm your host, Mike Johnson, filling in for Dave Kaiser. I'm with Northwest Community Television. Today we are going to recap some of the new things happening in the city of Maple Grove, and we'll also look back at the meeting that took place on October 19th. Stay with us. The Maple Grove City Report is next. And that last guy you saw floating through the maple trees is not me. That was Dave Kaiser. I'm filling in for Dave, who is maybe he's either on assignment or on vacation. We're going to figure that one out. But these are big shoes to fill for me to fill in for Dave Kaiser. Again, I'm Mike Johnson, and should we get this whole Mike Johnson thing like out on the table because there's so many Mike Johnsons? We're going to make this clear because I think this is really I haven't been on the air here for a long time. I'm more behind the scenes. You might hear my voice every now and then on a promo, but there are two Mike Johnsons that work here. The other Mike Johnson is our news director and anchor person. So it's there's quite a few of them around here. So if you ever come knocking on our door, you have to ask for which Mike Johnson. But I think you have that down.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what's new at the city of Maple Grove. There's always something new. So what have we got going?
Well, there is the dome. Should be operational, up and operational November 1st. That's over by the Maple Grove Senior High. It's an interesting process to watch it inflating, and then it's something that, you know, it's a big use to people because when it's 10 below, 20 below, or whatever, you can go in there and you can walk, and I think we keep it about 50 degrees, but if it's 10 or 20 below outside, 50 degrees, you know, feels like paradise. So it's really, really a nice thing. It's well used by the athletic associations and well as the public, just to walk inside.
When this was built, was this a partnership then with the school district and the city?
Yeah, it's a partnership with the school district, the athletic associations, and the city of Maple Grove. So it's worked out very, very well.
Okay.
It's a very, very nice feature to have.
It'd be nice to have a little time-lapse video sometime of the dome going, of inflating, because I could imagine it doesn't just happen immediately.
No, it takes quite a while to do it. It takes a matter of a couple of weeks, but it is. Yeah, we must have. There must be somewhere, you know, some kind of a time lapse to showing how that thing is going up, and it's quite an amazing process, though.
Well, any would-be photographers out there interested in doing any time lapse on the Maple Grove Dome? We'd like to see it.
Go over and take some shots of it. Yes,
what else
absolutely.
have we got going?
Well, a couple other things. Park Nicollet has a very large regional medical facility along Upland Lane that they're going to have a grand opening, a ribbon cutting on Friday, October 23 at 8 a.m. And that's a very, very large and strong medical presence by Park Nicollet in our community. So we're very pleased with that. The playground at the Central Park, I've talked about that. That will be open before the end of October. So we're excited about that. Hopefully the nasty cold and the snow will stay away so kids can enjoy the playground. But on the flip side, we do have the trail there that is a refrigerated trail. And I guess it's called the, the ice maintenance building there will be turned over to the city by the builder, and then we'll be able to start refrigerating that trail in that area so people, even before the snow and ice comes, they can be out there skating on a refrigerated trail.
Is this trail, and this sounds so unique, and I know we've done some stories about the Central Park area. Is this one of the first of its kind in the Twin Cities area, or are there other cities that have a similar type situation?
Well, there may be a couple others out there, but I think that this type of refrigerated trail is probably the first in the Twin Cities area, so it's very unique.
So you don't need it free. I mean, you literally could be skating possibly when it's 40 degrees because of the refrigeration.
Yeah, the trail is refrigerated, so that's very, very good. So.
And will this be free for the residents?
Yes.
Wow.
And the only thing would be, if you want to rent skates. You know, we'll have certainly the building that's there. We'll have skate rental. It's also like a big warming house, so you can go in there as well. So it's very, very nice feature. So.
And the playground that you just talked about a few moments ago, this is supposed to be like the latest and the greatest. So it's almost like we want to be kids again,
Yeah,
right?
you're right, yes. Oh, it is to be very, very, it's a large playground. It also has a lot of features, you know, like water features and things like that. So I think the kids are going to really love it. So I wish, you know, my kids are growing up and, you know, living elsewhere, and so I kind of wish that they were still around, you know, to participate in that. So.
And the water features are going to have to hold until next spring or summer.
Right. Yeah. We'll have to that, but we did have it operational. You know, the water features, and when we had the ribbon cutting ceremony for Central Park, we had the water features going. Kids were loving it. So, as far as I'm concerned, it was chilly that day, but kids did bother them a bit.
It's Minnesota. I mean, I think still when people go to quasi-warm weather climates, like they go to Florida and it's 50 degrees, you'll see Minnesotans out, you know, swimming, and all the Floridians are going, what, are they crazy?
Right, that's right, yeah, for sure. Just a few other things. Our property crime is down 18%.
That's good news.
Yes, we're very, very happy about that. The 2016 assessment property values, residential will probably go up about 3.5%, and this is for taxes payable in 2017. Lakeshore property will go up 4.5%, condos 3%, and townhouses up 6%. So that's kind of at least the thought right now as to how the factor, you know, will be for the 2017 taxes, but 2016 assessment. So.
And the county has a lot to do with this, and
They clearly do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because people sometimes think that all the tax dollars are the cities.
Right.
Not quite.
It's actually a smaller
It's
portion.
a very, very small portion. You got the school district that's in there for a big chunk of it. You got the county that's in there. You have the city that's in there for a percentage. Then you have some other little, you know, like the mosquito control division and little things like that that do have taxing authority are then also a part of the overall tax dollar. So, but a lot of people, if they see their tax bill, they think, wow, look at all the money the city's taking in. Well, we only get just a part of that.
But you usually get the biggest gruff because that's where they're going.
Oh,
like
yes.
if there's a meeting, a truth in taxation type meeting,
Right.
And they want to say something, they go to the city.
Oh, yes. Yep.
But the biggest part of the tax bill is, like you said, the schools and the county.
Too big right there.
Yeah,
yes.
and then if the school, in addition to their normal taxes, have a special levy put on top of that, that's even more money.
That's correct. Absolutely
Okay.
correct. So, a couple other things. I mentioned the playground. I mentioned the ice maintenance building. One of the nice things is that the village at Arbor Lakes, that's a concept that's being proposed on a vacant piece of land at the northeast corner of Elm Creek Boulevard and Hemlock. It's by the Dorn Companies, called the Village at Arbor Lakes. We've been working on that one for quite a while. The developer now has put together a concept plan. They did receive approval for a concept plan at the most recent council meeting. The next stage will be the development stage plan. The development stage plan is when they get into the real nitty-gritty. They get into designs, they get into landscaping, they get into lighting, they get into streets. It's a very detailed
It's more than the
plan.
artist rendition. Right?
It truly is, no doubt about that. And so at this time, the developer Dorn Companies is looking to the approval is for up to 700 apartment units at the north end of the site. They will start, I doubt this year, but they'll start in 2016 with the first building, the first apartment building, and then also a 30,000 square foot clubhouse, which is a very large clubhouse. Yeah. And then they're looking at their options on the south part of the property. That's destined for, there's an office in there, there's some retail in there, there's a hotel in there. So there's a variety of uses on the south end. And so they'll be in, I think, in the month of November with their development stage plan. I think it may focus, at least right now, mainly on the north parcel with their first apartment building and then the clubhouse, because that was one of the conditions that the council put on it, was that they have to build the clubhouse.
So what's the estimated time of, you know, from beginning to end in terms of the total duration of build-out of a project of this size?
Well, a project of this size, I think the developer has been talking somewhere around 10 years, because it's not, because of the amount of residential, it's at the north side, and then also the amount of variety of projects that would be on the south part of the property. So it could be anywhere from 7 to 10 years. So it's not a project that's going to, some of it will start coming out of the ground.
Sure.
But it's not a project that will be fully finished in in a recent future. It'll be, I'm thinking 7 to 10 years. So
Okay.
it'll be fairly long. So the couple other things, the farmers market. Tomorrow, October 22nd, is the last day for being outside. I think it is. And then in November, we move inside the community center. So the farmers market has been just so tremendously successful. We have well in excess of 50 vendors. Most of them, almost all of them, keep coming back year after year. And then we'll move into the community center. And the most that we can have in there is 25. And so we've had a number of vendors that want to come along from outside to inside, but we just don't have the space.
And how do you, you know, I have actually been to the Maple Grove Farmers Market several times, and I've had a great opportunity to get some really good deals on some fresh produce and other things. How do you determine who goes inside and who doesn't? You know, because somehow you have to make that decision.
Well, you try to do that, you know, in a way based on seniority, who has been with us the longest, but also based on the variety of the product. You don't want, you know, 5 of this kind and 5 of this kind. You want to make sure that there's a nice mix of vendors. So
Okay.
that's how they take a look at it.
Okay, good.
Anyways, that's been a very, very successful project for us. This past Saturday, the Hindu temple celebrated a ribbon cutting for their peace garden. And also they're celebrating the 10th year anniversary. It's hard to believe, but in April of 2016, it'll be 10 years since the Vandals broke in there and did extensive damage, very, very costly damage to the inside of the temple. And so they had an event on this past Saturday. Senator Klobuchar was there, Mayor Stephenson was there, Council members Jager and Hanson were there, I was there. It's a very, very nice event that they had. It's also going to be very, very nice peace garden and an area where people doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a member of the Hindu temple. You can go there just for relaxation and meditation, and it's going to be very nice. So,
Boy, it's hard to believe.
10 years?
Yeah, that 10 years just flew by.
it really has, and just it is hard to believe, because I remember when I got the call, and I went out there right away. And when you walk in and you see the damage to the deities, the idols, and it just blows your mind. And then you walk down the hallway and you see all of the damage that was done to the walls with bats, and it's really unfortunate. But you know, to the credit of the Hindu Society, they have forgiven the 2 young men that did that. The 2 young men that did that. Have turned their lives around completely. They've now gone on to college. One of them has a child. They've become part of the Hindu Society as their community service work. And so the Hindu Society has, I think, just done an amazing, outstanding job.
That's an inspiring story.
Oh my gosh, it's just, you know, forgiving
Right.
them for, you know, for what the damage that was done. And I mean, it was serious. It was some big time damage. So it was very, very bad. Total Wine is going to be having their ribbon cutting on November 4th from 6 to 8 p.m.
And where are they going?
They're going right in the just down the little space from where Nordstrom's rack is. I think that was Office Depot.
Office Depot, yes.
Right, they were in there. So they're taking that space. So they'll be having their ribbon cutting ceremony. So,
Okay.
Council meeting this past Monday night was 15 minutes long, so it was
Yeah.
it was quick.
It amazes me. You know, I'm going through the Maple Grove packet. It's about this thick, and then I find out that the meeting only took 15 minutes. I understand a lot of it's under consent, but there's still, with the size of Maple Grove, it's absolutely amazing how efficient the city is in terms of doing the city's business.
We do put quite a bit on consent. If it's a non-controversial item, or if it's an item that maybe, at 2 weeks previous meeting, maybe a council member might have voted no on it or something, but it passed because of majority rules. We don't put that on consent. We would take that off and for discussion, so it gives them a chance to vote no again. But otherwise, we try to put as much as we can on the consent agenda, and it works out very, very well for us. Our meetings are televised. They're always public, and so I always encourage anybody that if they'd like to come to a council meeting, certainly do so. Listen and just hear and see what's going on.
And if you can't make it to the meeting, this is a free plug for all that. I mean, in terms of being as transparent, all the meetings are done on both cable, on the Comcast system,
right,
but also on the internet. I mean, people could literally go in through this software and look up an agenda item and click it on and just watch that item. So it's
absolutely,
the city is very transparent, and all that information is there and documentation. So
you bet.
But anyway, and a council member
people.
can, yeah.
I encourage people. I mean, sometimes people think, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to a meeting and then fall asleep because they're boring. But it's good to attend a council meeting, to see what's taking place, to listen to what's taking place. And I always encourage all of our residents to get involved. We have lots of different boards and commissions in our city, and there's lots of opportunities to become involved in the community. And I always encourage candidates, if they're thinking about running for the city council, and I'll meet with them and I'll encourage them, if they're not already involved in some board and commission, get involved and see what the city is like and find out more about the city. So we try to be as transparent as we possibly can. I'm a strong believer in that. And I think that with our Facebook page and our website and we televise our planning commission meetings, we televise the council meetings. We try to make things as easily accessible to our residents and just the overall public as we can. So.
And I know the city's been very welcoming to both our news staff here, right, and our public affairs staff with Dave Kaiser, Ann Gallagher. You're always open to interviews with city issues.
Absolutely right. This past council meeting, we did enter into a letter of intent with Pulte Homes. The city owns a 7.4 acre parcel on the north side of Weaver Lake Road. So if you go up Main Street and you kept going, there's right up on the other side of Weaver Lake Road, there's 7.4 acres. City has owned that for quite a long time, and we've just decided it's time to sell it. So Pulte Homes did give us our asking price. So we took it, and so we will enter into a letter of intent with Pulte. And their development, their residential development, will be very, very similar to what's already there, so that it fit in very well.
And Pulte Homes, I believe, is a nationwide builder.
Yes.
I mean, they're well funded. They've got a good reputation, and they've probably done quite a few projects in the city of Maple Grove over the years.
They have. Pulte is probably, I would say, probably the major residential developer in Maple Grove, and they'll continue to be that. But we're very happy. They're a good company to work with. They do a nice job on their homes. I've been told that the follow-through with the buyers of their product, the follow-through is outstanding. So if you move into one of their homes and you got a little glitch in something, they're there to take care of it. So so we're happy that they with the letter of intent, and again, they gave us our asking price, so we're even happier about that.
Sure, yeah, that's all good news.
We did set a special council meeting for November 2nd, Monday, November 2nd at 6:30 p.m. And that special meeting is to have staff, myself, and my finance director go through the proposed 2016 budget with the mayor and the city council. We've done that once. We'll go through it again with the mayor and the council. And then on December 7th, that will be the public hearing for the 2016 budget. That's when the council will formally take a look at the proposed budget. They will set a budget level, and then 2 weeks later is when they formally approve the 2016 budget. But whatever they set on, excuse me, December 7th, that has to be what they'll approve on 2 weeks later.
And is that because of the levy rules with Hennepin County in terms of that setting?
It's whole truth and taxation process. It's the whole revenue department. It's the entire process that the state requires. You have to hold a public hearing, and then 2 weeks later is when you adopt the formal, in our case, be 2016 budget. So I think it's a very responsible budget. My hat's off to all of my department directors for their due diligence, and we're looking at probably about $2 a month increase for Maple Grove residents. Like we were talking earlier, we don't control the school district or the county, but our share of it would be about a $2 a month increase, which we think is very good. We continue to be a growing city. We're 36 square miles in size. We're well in excess of 67,000 people. So our budget is always going to inch up little by little, because you just got the cost of services. You've got the public works. You got the police department. Those are two big parts of a budget. Right there.
And there you've got your personnel expenses, and then obviously, some other, when you have police, fire, snow plowing, all the things, those are all very visible things that people can see in their community. Versus some things, when you look at your federal taxes and some state taxes, you wonder, well, where did that money go? At least on a local level, people can actually see their local tax dollars at work.
Right. That's a very good point. So, fixing potholes, that's another thing. So it's just a lot of things that go into a city budget, and so there's a lot of different departments we have. If there's a rise in gas and oil, and if there's a rise in a variety of things, some of it is beyond our control.
Right, a rise in the cost of salt.
Oh yes, yeah, for sure.
That has skyrocketed over the years.
It really has. And one of the things about the salt is that we've gone to a liquid product in many cases now, where there's less corrosion on the roads, less damage to the roads. We spray it on the roads. It lasts longer than the salt, because one of the problems with the salt is that, and not too long after, then a plow is coming along and it's, cleaning off some of the salt. But this liquid formula that we use, and a lot of cities are now using it. And in fact, it's used in a lot of places around the country. Is very, very effective, and so we're probably using more of that than we are of actual salt.
Oh, that's good.
But it's less wear and tear on the roads, for one thing. We did have at the recent council meeting, we did have the delinquent utility billing, as well as the delinquent weed billing. Some people decide when they move, they don't want to pay the utility billing, the sewer water, things like that. And so that's then charged. We held a hearing. Rarely does anybody ever show up, because they don't want to be embarrassed that they didn't pay their bill. And so we hold a public hearing, and then what happens is that we place that on the assessment rolls, so that when the county, on their tax rolls, that unpaid delinquent utility bill, unpaid weed cutting bill, all of that is then assessed against the property.
So it's either pay me now or pay me later.
Well,
eventually you're going to get the money if through the selling of the house or through the property taxes.
Correct. And a lot of people just kind of take the impression that, it'll hit me later, so I'll pay it later. I don't want to pay it now. So the weeds, now and then we may have, for example, if there's property that's vacant, or you have a homeowner that just is ignoring mowing the lawn, and when the weeds and the grass get too high, we notify them. If they continue to ignore us, then we have to do what's called a force mow, or we have to go out and mow it. Well, then again, that eventually gets assessed to the property. So now and then you might have someone come out to contest the weed, saying that I don't think it was as high as you say it was, things like that. But we didn't have anybody at the most recent meeting contesting either the delinquent utilities or the weed cutting. So it's not often they will come out and grumble about the weeds, but if they do, it's just their version of this length, and our version is different. So We did have a very short public hearing on special assessments against a variety of development projects in town. That was, again, a no-brainer. These are these are assessments, for example, like the Red Rock Business Center along County 81. These are assessments that we placed for sewer, water, storm sewer, things like that. And so this is just, we're required to have a public hearing. We have the public hearing, and then those assessments are assessed against that particular property. So nobody came out on those. That was just a matter of a minute or two, so there was no issues. That was it. The meeting was 15 minutes long. Public Works Director Ashfeld did mention in regards to 494 that the plan, anyway, is to have all southbound lanes of 494 open probably in November, no later than the end of November. And then that's the southbound lanes. And then, so they'll have all three open for that, and the northbound lanes, they'll have 2 lanes open. But they're still doing quite a bit of work on 494.
Yeah, I'm on it every day, and I'm looking forward to when they open that up, and then they'll start. So they'll go through the winter with really no activity, and then come back and then start on the northbound side for the most part.
There won't be too much activity, but you know, probably by in November. And before I think winter really hits us, the 3 southbound lanes will be open, and so that'll be nice. And so
I can already hear the cheers of all the people watching this program right now.
So can I, yes.
Well, that's great. But there was also some other big news. As the city extended your contract for another month. You're not leaving very easily at the city. You were supposed to be done at the end of this month, of October. You're staying another month?
Yeah, I was supposed to be done October 30 was my retirement date. Council asked if I would stay till the end of November, just to make sure we have a smooth process. And so right now, just as an update, the City Council had come up with 3 finalists for my position. And so they were doing all their necessary due diligence. We learned yesterday that 2 of those finalists have withdrawn. And for very good reasons, not that they didn't like us, but for good reasons. So we're down to 1 finalist. Now, whether the City Council decides to make an offer or not, because we're still going through a lot of research, a lot of due diligence. But yes, they did ask if I would hang around till November 30, just to try to make sure we have a smooth...
And the answer is?
It's yes.
Okay.
Just to have a smooth process.
Oh, yeah,
so, I don't anticipate the council asking me to hold off on my retirement any longer than November 30. I think that'll give us enough time for the new person to come on. My hope is that after, when we do make an offer to somebody and they accept it, my hope is that that person can come out like maybe half a day a week or 1 day a week and spend time with me, because there's a lot of orientation that needs to be taking place. And so I'm hoping that can happen. But
give them a tour of our studios here too.
There you go. Perfect.
That's just one. That's just one thing.
Just one, right? But right now, yes, you're stuck with me till November 30th.
Oh no, it's not being stuck at all. And I want to take a moment, because we're almost out of time. But I don't know how many people know this, but Al Mattson here serves on the Northwest Suburbs Cable Commission as its chair, and has done so for many, many years. He's been with the city for 32 years. He's also been with this organization for a very, very long time. And I personally, since I'm just filling in for Dave Kaiser today, so this is probably my last Maple Grove City report, especially after Dave sees it. He goes, we can't have Johnson fill in again. But I just want to publicly thank you. You've been a mentor to me as a city manager, and for me as executive director here over the years.
Appreciate
and this,
that.
This guy is a very good guy. Everybody here on staff really appreciates all that you've done for our organization, and have made the Northwest Suburbs Cable Commission and Community Television one of the top organizations of its kind in the country.
Well, I appreciate that very much, and you're going to be stuck with me on that too after I retire.
Those are the rumors out there. Most of the times when you hear these rumors, they end up being true, that you have an interest in remaining on the commission.
I do, and the mayor and the council have stated they would like to have me stay on the commission representing Maple Grove, even though I will not be city administrator any longer, but representing Maple Grove, just because of all the years of experience. And we're working with Comcast, we're working with CenturyLink, You know, so they again feel that that also will be a nice smooth transition.
Yeah.
So, and I'll do that.
Great. Well, it's been fun filling in for Dave. And Dave,
Been
thank
great.
you if you're watching. Thank you for giving me this great opportunity to interview this fine gentleman here. We want to tell you again that the next meeting is on November 2nd, Monday, November 2nd at 7:30 p.m. We'd like to hear from you. If you want to call our viewer response line at 763-533-1710. Thank you for watching the Maple Grove City Report.